This is the all-new 2023 Chevy Colorado Trailboss. Today we're at our mountain playground to see if this mid-sized truck can be the boss of our all-new trails. That's coming up right now on Driving Sports TV. For 2023, the Chevrolet Colorado features an all-new design with fresh styling, advanced tech, and a trio of engine options. The model we're testing today is the Trailboss. This is an off-road focused trim based on the basic work truck feature set, so cloth seats and hard plastics are standard. This chassis boasts a 2-inch suspension lift, giving the Trailboss 9.5 inches of ground clearance. It also has a wide-body look that says this truck is ready to party. Recovery hooks, blacked out badging, tailgate storage, touchscreen infotainment with off-road performance display, digital gauge cluster, full-size spare, and 18-inch wheels wrapped in all-terrain tires are standard equipment. Front, mid, and rear skid plates are an option, but not installed on our tester. Price as you see it here with a number of options including radiant red paint, $41,155 US including destination. Under the hood is a new 2.7-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. This is available in 3 different outputs. The Trailboss includes the mid-spec Turbo Plus. This produces an impressive 310 horsepower and 390 pound-feet of torque. EPA rates the Trailboss at 21 mpg on the highway and 17 in town. Towing is capped at 7,700 pounds. The transmission is a standard 8-speed automatic with a dual-range transfer case. That means that it has both 2-wheel drive as well as 4-high and 4-low. Plus, it also gets an auto 4-wheel drive setting. In the back, there's a G80 auto locker, which we'll definitely be using today, and the final drive is 342. The powertrain can be tuned with various drive modes. Off-road, which is your typical dirt road style off-roading, tow haul, terrain, and back to normal. These modes adjust the powertrain and the brake vectoring system, which can improve both power and grip in tricky situations. And I am expecting some tricky situations. You see, this is our mountain playground. In here we have a variety of trails mimicking real-world challenges. We have hard dirt, soft dirt, rocks, logs, and lots of very steep climbs. So we're going to start with something that's on the easy side. We're going to go up the Rattler. Now this is a logging style road in that it's covered with 4x8 rocks and has a very steep ascent at the end. It should help us kind of play with some of the settings on the vehicle here as well as see how well it can climb before we get to the really tricky stuff. So right now I am just an auto 4-wheel drive. What that will do is use a clutch to send power to the front wheels as necessary. Now yes, this is equipped with a proper dual range transfer case. So when I actually want to, I can switch it into a straight 50-50 lock using 4-low or 4-high settings. 4-low being, of course, if I need to magnify the torque out of the system. Now this would normally be where I would test surround view camera systems, maybe a trail cam. Yeah, this doesn't have any of that. All I get is a rear view camera. Now there is an off-road screen here, which gives me some additional information, which is kind of nice. I have the overlanding and terrain and Baja screens, which just gives me lots of data. So we're going to go ahead and keep those up. That's basically all I've got. So for this one, I'm going to keep it in 4 auto because there's really nothing to do yet, and we're just going to drive because this is basically just a rough road. So this is one reason I like mid-sized trucks. They're not very big compared to full-size. This is something that you can take on a trail and go up into the mountains and feel pretty confident that you can probably find a trail that it'll fit on. Once you start getting up to like F-150s or up to Silverados, specifically a 2500 HD, you have trouble fitting on roads. It's just hard. So this is just a nice flexible size. Now granted, if you need the extra capacity, you need the extra capability, then yeah, you go up to a bigger truck. Okay, here is gonna be a tough one. This is where we're gonna get the first use out of that rear G80 auto locker. So here I'm gonna do a steep climb up and out. Now this isn't a super steep climb, but it does get up to about 16 degrees, I think, at the steepest. I'll watch it on the pitch roll meter here. I know for this one I need to have that center transfer case locked. So I'm going to go to 4 high. Let's do that, 4 high. And then I'm also going to move the driving mode to, let's do off-road. Off-road will allow for some wheel spin, but it'll aggressively shift power left and right depending on the terrain requirements. Okay, let's do this. And away we go. Now these are all-terrain tires. They're not fantastic, but I think they're okay. Or at least we'll find out how okay they are. So cut in tight here. Let's get that wheel spinning if we can. Up and over. And over. There we go. See, pretty easy. So as we climbed out of there, you could see the G80 doing its thing by locking the outside wheel when the rotation started to exceed the rotation of the inside wheel. It was basically, you'd see it like stuttering. We have a slow motion shot so you can see what that looks like. Okay, now we're going to move on to the Sidewinder. This is a little bit more of the same, but it's a little bit different. And on the way there, we're going to test out the hill descent control system, which comes with the Trailboss. Okay, let's try out hill descent control. This is the Trailboss, right? To be the boss of the trail, you need hill descent. To turn on hill descent control, I just click the little icon up here. You can see we have lots of things to control the vehicle. And I hit the button there. It's very easy to use, very straightforward. And then as we approach, basically we just let off the throttle and it'll ease us down the hill, braking each wheel as necessary. On Sidewinder here, we are going to switch the vehicle from 4 high into 4 low. That will amplify torque to the wheels and should make the throttle control a little bit steadier as well. Ooh, that front clearance, okay, we're okay. Let's keep on going. So on this section of the Sidewinder, we have an ever-growing pile of rocks and a log. Now I'm going to set this up with 4 low. Is it required here? I don't know, probably not. But I'm going to do it anyway. So to get into 4 low, I hit the button there. I shift it into neutral. It's telling me what to do on the screen. And that took a while, but it is now in 4 low. So at this point, it turns off all collision mitigation, but now I have a nice slow crawl mode. Now again, there's no rear locker button because it is an auto locker. Also, no front camera. I kind of like cameras here so that I can really set my line, but I'm just going to have to do it by feel. And we're also going to listen for any thunking because, of course, this does not have any underbody armor. It is an option on the Trailboss, which I find really weird. Okay, up and over. Yeah, no problem. Now, crossovers have a major issue with that. And the Sidewinder. Now here, I'm going to introduce a new test. Can I tighten my seatbelt on an incline? Some vehicles, you can't do that. Like in the Toyota Tacoma, at this point, I wouldn't be able to put my seatbelt back on because it would be stuck. Oh, look at that. Still works. I like that. Okay, so here we're in 4 low. I'm going to make sure that we're in an off-road mode. We are. Okay, and let's send it. Now this is very steep. It's a little soft, but it's not too bad. It's firmed up over the year, but it's still kind of tricky to get up. That G80 is going to work in the back. Oh, and up we go. No problem. And let's climb out. Up we go. Haha. So far, this truck has conquered everything, but we have a new segment. We call it Python Pass. It's our new climb through the dead forest on the property here, and it's gonna be fun. Now, I have done this once with my Ford Ranger. But keep in mind, the Trimmer Edition Ranger that I have has more ground clearance, has better approach angle, it has better departure angle, and it also has underbody protection. This doesn't. So it'll be interesting to see how well this does. Now, this is an extraordinarily steep climb. So as much as I would like to try out the terrain mode, I kind of feel like I need wheel spin, so I'm going to stick to off-road mode for this particular climb. This is a very steep climb. We're looking at over 20 degrees. So yeah, you don't find these in the real world very often. So I had to make my own. Now I'm in 4-low, I'm in off-road mode, and we're gonna just see how well this does. If we have trouble with off-road mode, then we're gonna switch to one of the other settings. Now, I also have to point out there's a lot of boulders, and also this is a fresh road. It's very soft. So we're dealing with just a lot of really complicated terrain here. The boulders could be an issue because I could kick one up and damage something, so I'm gonna have to be very conservative with my throttle. I can't just gun it and launch it up this hill because I have a very good chance of breaking something. And this car has 758 miles on it right now. Also, going in here, I'm a little concerned about hitting that rear tow hitch because it's kind of steep here. Okay, we're not rubbing, that's good. And I'm just gonna try to keep some momentum. We're at 22 degree climb, 21. Come on, we got this, we got this. Oh, it's doing pretty good actually. Oh, this is where it's getting tricky. I'm just keeping the throttle in. Oh, it stopped, I didn't want to stop. I wanted to maintain momentum, but I stopped. We're gonna try that again. So I'm gonna back up a little. Come on, back up a little. Oh. I'm gonna reset. I'm gonna try that again. Try to get through that really soft patch. And we're at 23 degree climb right now. I'm just keeping the throttle in. I'm trying not to over rotate the tires. I wanna keep momentum. Oh man, this is actually harder. And it's funny, this is only 20 degrees here. So let's go back down again, get a little grip, and we're gonna send it with a little more speed. Just a little. If we can. Maybe stopping on the 21 degree angle section is, yeah. I am seeing in my display here all of the action that's going on though, and it's quite a lot. Okay, let's start it right here. 22 degrees, we're gonna get some movement here. I'm gonna try to send it a little wheel spin, but I don't want too much because I'm just gonna dig. Want to climb. Come on, you got this. Yeah, oh, there's a rock. Oh. Length is a concern. Oh, we got that. Yes. So we made it that far, but the tricky part is actually right up ahead, and it doesn't have to do with off-roading. It has to do with size. It gets tighter up here at the top, hence the reason we call it Python Pass. Let's see how this truck does. So I'm going in tight, which is gonna, wow, that actually wasn't bad. Huh, and this has a longer wheelbase than my Ranger. Yeah, I just scratched these black lacquer wheels doing that climb because there were rocks, and though these are 18-inch wheels with a good amount of sidewall, you know, black lacquer, it gets hit by one rock and it is scratched. Not much we can do about that. This is a Trailboss, and I am treating it like a Trailboss. I am taking it on a trail, and sometimes that happens. So sorry, Chevy. Obviously, this truck is very capable, but personally, I would prefer more control over the off-road functions. I want a manually locking rear differential. I don't mind if it's electronic, but I want it on and I want it off. I don't want to rely on the vehicle's wheel spin to turn it on or off. Because in the case of this one, yeah, it's a physical locker, but also it does require that there's wheel spin. And at that point, why don't you just go with a brake locker, you know, like is on every crossover, because you're then engaging that wheel spin, which can help deteriorate a trail, which you usually don't want to do. And in spite of the fact that this truck has, you know, very shiny black plastic down there, it has a black steering wheel made out of plastic, and it also has these cheap cloth seats. I kind of like this truck. Personally though, if I am spending the money, I want something that's a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more luxurious. You know, dual zone climate controls, I don't think is asking too much here in 2023. But this truck looks great, it functions great. Overall, I have no problem with anybody who wants to buy one of these because they are pretty fun. For Driving Sports TV, I'm Ryan Douthit. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, share videos, make them for you, and I hope you enjoy them.